Oh. Anyway, there's a big Jewish Journal cover story about the high price of kosher lettuce because of the very strict way they go for bugs, and there's only one type of lettuce packaging that has got the RCC's approval. That's the Rabbinical Council of California. They're the most influential and powerful Orthodox rabbinical group on the West Coast. And so it was talking about increasing attention being paid to checking for bugs in fruits and vegetables. And I think that some of the guidelines are just extreme. Of course you should look for bugs. Even as a goy, I look for bugs in my fruits and vegetables. 99.9% of the goyim, in the Western world anyway, don't like to eat bugs. They like wash their fruits and they wash their vegetables. But some people now, like the RCC guidelines saying that people should use a light box to look for bugs. And another guideline is they should wash their lettuce with soap. And I think that's going a little too far, because the obvious guideline is you wash the fruits and the vegetables and you look very carefully for bugs. And if you don't see any bugs after you've washed them thoroughly, then you can eat. So you don't have to worry about bugs that you can't see, because there are bugs in our water, but if you can't see them, it doesn't count as a sin. If you've thoroughly washed the lettuce leaf and you can't see any bugs on the lettuce, then you can go ahead and eat, even if there are microscopic bugs on there. The air we breathe frequently contains bugs, but if we inadvertently swallow a bug from the air we breathe, that's not a sin either. The sin is if you see a bug and you don't get rid of it. And you go, oh, I'll eat this anyway.
That's false.
Okay, go ahead.
Can I say, I have a lot to say on that.
Great.
Where do I start? First thing I want to say is, the Jewish Journal is not the arbiter of truth. We do not look to the Jewish Journal to determine what's right and what's wrong about Torah. Okay? The Jewish Journal has a tendency to want to jack up stories as long as they have a source that's unhappy with traditional Judaism. The story that you pointed to was based on the one source who is a conservative Judaism rabbi, in other words, a heretic.
Did you read the story?
I got down to where the heretic talked, and I said, oh God, Levi, what is this? You got like a hatchet job based on a one opinion from a conservative rabbi, a heretic, who has every reason to hate everything about traditional Judaism. And this is like a story to slam traditional Judaism and try to make us look stupid, but it failed. And let me explain to you why. The Talmud itself, and this goes back, this is the oral Torah from God. The Talmud talks about, and I showed you that today, and it still didn't convince you, that the Talmud talks about, hold on, the Talmud talks about checking for bugs on lettuce. According to you, you don't have to.
I didn't say that. I said you have to clean the lettuce, and if there is no bugs, if you've washed it thoroughly and looked for bugs, then you can eat it. But bugs that you can't see, that are so infinitesimal that they don't show up to the naked human eye, they don't count as a sin.
Okay. There's a halacha there was a halacha put in place by the Rabbanim. This is more than 2,500 years ago. You have to check food even if only a sizable minority of that type of food has insects. Okay? You have to check food even if a sizable amount of that type of food doesn't have insects.
Doesn't contradict anything I said.
You just said that the thing I said false at is you said, oh, if you don't check the lettuce, oh, it's not a problem.
I didn't say that. I said you got to check the lettuce, you got to wash it thoroughly, you got to check it, and if you don't see any bugs, if the bugs are microscopic so they can't be seen by the human eye, that's not a sin.
All right. I agree with you 100%. Let's understand something, folks. The only type of bugs that... Let's start off in the beginning, because people don't know what we're talking about. Let's start off. The Torah, I think, has 7 different... Of the 613 mitzvahs, I believe 7 of them can be violated by eating one bug. I believe that there's that many There's that many instances in the Torah where it says do not eat these kind of bugs. So there's different types of bugs that there are, but the kinds that are on lettuce and romaine lettuce and broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, these are the problematic. I think asparagus is the problem. These little tiny bugs that infest those things, we're not allowed to eat according to the Torah. It is actually worse than, let's say, eating...
Big Mac.
Not sure, because Big Mac has Nevelis in it, and that's also an Issur D'Oraisa. So let's say like I don't know. I can't think of a good thing right now. Could be worse than it would be worse than banging a black woman.
A non-Jewish black woman.
Right. It would definitely be worse than banging a non-Jewish black woman, right? So like you could go ahead, but just don't like eat lettuce with her. The thing that I was saying to you was at the end you said if you see a bug on a lettuce, you're not allowed to eat it. But if you don't see it, it's just like if you ran and a bug entered your mouth. So therefore you don't need to check if a bug...
I never said anything about not needing to check. You need to check, you need to wash, you
right.
need to check thoroughly. And if you've checked thoroughly and you've washed thoroughly and you can find no bug that is visible to the human eye, then you may eat.
Right, so then what's your problem with the article? I mean, what's your whole...
Well, for one thing, they're saying that they recommend that you use light boxes.
Okay, so let me attack that issue. My brother-in-law, graduated college as a scientist, and he did some graduate work, literally looking at bugs. He was a bugologist. I don't know what you call it.
Bugologist is the technical term.
He was a bugologist, and I remember this because I visited him in his lab, and he had lots and lots of lettuce and stuff, and they were looking at stuff with light boxes. And I remember him telling me, as a scientist, that this was 30 years ago. This was more than 30 years ago. And he told me, when you check for lettuce on bugs, you're fooling yourself if you rely on your naked eye, because it's not that you can't see, it's not that they're microscopic, but it's that they know how to blend in and camouflage themselves so well against the leaves. Because you have green bugs that attach themselves to the green leaves, and you can't see them. That doesn't mean that you're not allowed to eat them. And he said if you use a light box and you put it on the light box, the light shows up through it and it makes a silhouette of the bug. And then they show up clear as day. And I was like fascinated watching him, and he was 100% right. I would look at the romaine lettuce, I would say it's got no bugs on it, I washed it, it looked no bugs, and he would put it on the light, and it was infested with bugs.
So do you use the light box?
You want to know what I do?
Yeah.
Number one is I don't eat romaine lettuce as a general rule. I don't go out and buy any of these things. This gets to the next point I wanted to address. You said that the only kind that you can get is from the RCC.
No. I said the RCC only certifies one type of
But
lettuce.
they're not the only people to go to. In fact, until I read that story, I didn't even know the RCC was involved in any of this. Can I get up and show?
Please.
All right, I got to go to my kitchen.
Dear sports fans, Torah Talk here with Rabbi Rabs and Levi. And the Holy Rabbi is going to the kitchen. And
Here's what I own. And everybody can get this. It's called Ready Pack.
yeah,
And this is the only kind of lettuce that I eat.
yeah,
And as you can see, it's certified, it's got a circle V,
yeah.
which stands for the Vod, I believe, of St. Louis. Is this what you buy? And so to answer your question, do I use a light box? No, because this is already pre-checked. When I buy it, it's under the Achrayas, it's taken responsibility by the Vod of St. Louis, which is a kosher certification agency.
Right.
And they've already inspected all these leaves. And I don't know if they used a light box or if they just, waved a magic wand. I don't know, and I don't care. You know why? Because it's their Gehenna, not mine.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't
Right.
care what method they use. The fact that they're taking responsibility is good enough for me. I'm alleviated. If this thing is infested with bugs, it's not my problem. Okay? So I only buy pre-inspected stuff. I don't want to have to rely on myself, right? And when it comes to like Pesach, when you do your own, for Maror Charosis, My nephews will back me up because they watch